Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Ivan Birdsong, and welcome to Collective Action Now. Since this is our first video, I would like to state the purposes of this video to all you beautiful people on the internet. This is what the fuck we do. The goal of this channel is to make discussing politics and world events. God damn it. The goal of this channel is to make discussing politics and world events in general fun. Bitch what? Bitch what? Bruh, chill. Let me explain. Unfortunately, we live in a very dark and twisted world, and I believe that everybody can feel it, but it's like we just don't talk about it. It's like taboo to talk about. Like, when was the last time you were in the club, you know, getting it, and some badass bitch walks up to you, and she leans up to you and whispers into your ear, 9/11 was an inside job. That shit never happens. So I would like to be the facilitator for this discussion while adding a little humor to keep it interesting, you know? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Oh shit. So I would like to do... So let's go ahead and dive into the first topic. I'm sure you guys are still recovering from all the fun and excitement from the previous presidential election. By the way, I voted for Trump. I'm just kidding, I didn't vote, and I'll tell you why. Here in the United States, it's kind of like an unspoken rule that everybody must vote. And we've all had those encounters, and we all know those people and the naysayers. We've all heard the same response. Well, you can't complain about the system if you didn't vote. Or how are you gonna express your civic duty if you didn't vote? We all know that argument, as if there's a requirement to vote. Voting is a privilege. It's not something that you're required to do. Well, let me pose to you a little thought experiment. If you had to drink a cup of broken glass or a cup of nails, which one would you choose? And there's an obvious answer. Neither. Well, it's the same thing for our presidential elections. You shouldn't have to pick between two evils because you're still picking either. The truth is, the entire two-party system is a facade, a scam, an illusion of choice, if you will. It doesn't matter what party's in power because we still have war, we still have poverty, and we are still dissatisfied. A lot of people that I know get caught up in Democrats versus Republicans, liberals versus conservatives, pancakes versus waffles, but they have no real understanding of geopolitics, history, intelligence, and how society functions on the global level. The truth is, the entire government system has been compromised, but the question is how and why. Bitches, fucking how do they do this shit? What's going on? They've been compromised by special interest groups, and we all know the big players. Big oil, agribusiness, the pharmaceutical industry, big pharma, the military-industrial complex. We all know these multinational corporations are the ones that control all the resources on the planet and have the wealth and the ability to influence and compromise our politicians. Both sides of the political aisle have drinking the poison of money. It don't been drunk. These motherfuckers been fucking us since ever. We've always been getting fucked. You getting fucked? I'm getting fucked. Who's not fucked? I know what you're thinking. Well, things in the United States have always been this way. Which is true, but that doesn't mean we can't change it. People feel the need to choose a political party is because they inherit it from their parents. Their moms and dads were Republican, their grandma was a Republican, their great-grandfather was a Republican. It's a cycle, it's a generational cycle. It's very much like religion. It's something that is handed down from generation to generation, and a lot of people don't really question it. Well, I'm a Democrat because my mom's a Democrat, or I'm a Christian because my mom's a Christian. In reality, we shouldn't be basing our perspective off political labels, because that's too easy. There's no effort in it. We need to focus on ideas, values, and principles. Something that we stand for. We're not gonna pick red and blue, elephant and donkey. We gotta pick stuff that actually matters, something of substance. We need to judge our politicians not on their political affiliation, but on their deeds, on their actions, and on their words. Things that we can measure, things that we can visibly see and point to and show others this is taking place. Objective reality, what's really happening. Things that you can share to other people. That's the kind of stuff we need to be focusing on. Imagine if we had an election and we had to pick between two options. Option A, a megalomaniac billionaire drunk on his own ego who's also a pedophile. Thank you, Jeffrey Epstein. Or option B, a billionaire megalomaniac who's also a closet lesbian and is also a pedophile. Thanks again, Jeffrey Epstein. Who are you gonna choose? Shit. The only way we can have a functioning democracy is if we have an educated and informed public. No exception. That's critical. That has to happen. Everybody has to care. Everybody has to want to learn and want to know so everybody can be on the same page. We need to care about politics and who we elect in office just as much as we care about Kim Kardashian and the Real Housewives and sports and anything else that we do recreationally. You have to care about this stuff. This is our lives. This is real things that are taking place. Because if we don't, then fucking shit like Trump happens, you know? Or Bill Clinton, or all the presidents since JFK. Even JFK himself was really a bad guy, at least in terms of the interest of the public. He was kind of more like Darth Vader, how Darth Vader was pretty much bad for his whole life, and then right at the end he saves Luke. Same thing. JFK did a bunch of bad things, and right at the end, he did a bunch of good things. Like he wanted to dissolve the CIA, he wanted to dissolve the Federal Reserve, he wanted to give the American public the control of their government back. That's what he wanted to do, and that's how he created so many enemies. The two-party tyranny is what is preventing us from having a constructive discussion about politics. We all know liberal snowflakes that are up Hillary and Bernie's ass. And we also know hyper-conservatives who are ready to bend over once Trump says anything. But the thing is that both of these stereotypes, they like mentally self-destruct at the same temperature, at the same time. Neither of these ideologies work. Neither of these ways of thinking work. This hyperpolarization of the political spectrum is not working. It's actually working against us, and we gotta get out of this. But what I'm saying is, if you do identify by one of these labels, ask yourself why. Have you seen any significant change in our foreign policy? God damn it. Have you seen any significant change in our foreign policy in the past 60 years? Have you invested any time or effort to kind of justify and build your knowledge on politics and why you choose to believe in what you believe? Have you invested time? Have you ever tried on your own to actually figure out what's going on in the world? Where we at? Okay, if you answer no, then yo ass is the problem. If you answer no, then yo ass is the problem. Sorry. Bitch asses. Want power. But don't worry, it can be fixed. With a little love, tears, and some information. Once we can get the majority of people thinking outside of the two-party system, then we will have the infrastructure or the mental foot soldiers to demand change from our government and get accountability back. The government is bad because we the people refuse to do anything, and that's fundamentally the issue. We've allowed them to goose step us away from what this country was built on. And I'm not hating on America. I love my country. But we've been hijacked by some very bad people. And it's time for us, the people, to demand change and get our shit back. Fuck, we gonna get it back, bitch. Finger pistol. With that being said, I'd like to leave you guys with some food for thought. Please check out Robert DAVID Steele's former military, 20-year Marine, former CIA case officer, and I believe he worked in counterterrorism back when counterterrorism was still a new thing. For those of you that are thirsting for knowledge on this subject, I highly recommend check him out. He is literally a wealth of knowledge. He will verbally vomit on your face and you will smile as you take it. It's phenomenal. Well guys, that wraps up our first episode. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. I appreciate your time. Please like and subscribe to this channel if you found it interesting. Fuck, I messed up. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you found this interesting. There will be notes in the show notes. There will be shit down here somewhere. Check it out. And I want to leave you guys with a final message. And this is kind of really the takeaway of this whole channel. We the people have to be the agents of change we want to see in the world. And that's why collective action is so important. One person can't change the whole world, but one person can have an idea which starts a wave, and that wave can accumulate to change the world. And so that's why it's so important, guys. Collective action now. Deuces, bitches. I'll see y'all next time.